I'm quick to judge these things, and it's not right of me to be so quick to judge these things. But I will tell you this: I have no soft spot in my heart for anybody who is abusing a woman. And I'm not saying that you do or anybody else does, but I also, you also have to understand the women that are involved in this. And I say this from experience. I say this as a boy who was 12 years old. My mother and father got a divorce. My mother was an alcoholic. She was a mess. I didn't know what was going on in our family. I was just beginning to figure it out. This is at the time when I was now starting to mark the liquor bottles in our kitchen cabinet, because I'd noticed that the vodka bottle was being, the gallon vodka bottle was being lowered quickly every day I would go in and get my breakfast cereal. And so I was starting to quietly mark the bottles to see how much was my mother drinking, what was happening here, because my mother was a functioning alcoholic. She had started to date a guy who was a Navy captain, and he was a really nice guy, loved him, really, really thought he was a great guy. I was wrong. Didn't realize it until too late. He was a guy who had a serious drinking problem as well. Misery loves company. My mother would suddenly have a black eye. What happened? What happened, Mom? Oh, I was out working and I did something and I fell down. And really? She'd have a big, huge black and blue spot on her arm. What happened? Oh, I just got it caught and I just... Really? Until he came over one night, and I will never forget it. I was sitting on the ground in our living room. Our living room was right by our back door. This house must have been 800 square feet. And he came in the back door, and he had been drinking. And clearly my mother, at the time, I didn't realize, but clearly it was at that time of night where my mother must have been drinking as well. And I'm just being that child of an alcoholic family, just trying to be invisible as whatever is transpiring is transpiring. I don't even remember what the argument was about. I have no idea. But I saw this barrel-chested giant, a Navy captain, rear back and start to swing at my mother. At this point, I'm a kid who has no skills. I have as many skills of fighting and punching and being athletic then that I have now. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a guy who likes getting punched in the face. I have no idea what to do. But when I saw somebody rear back and get ready to swing at my mother, suddenly I found myself in between them. He grabbed my shirt collar and he reared back, and everything in him wanted to hit me. And I think it was my naivety, I think it was my stupidity that he saw that made him not hit me. I think it was, this kid actually believes I'm a good guy. He didn't hit me, and I kicked him out of the house. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. This is why I have very little sympathy or very little belief, because it is the same story over and over and over again. My mother apologized for him. I said, Mom, please don't apologize for him. Please. You don't know him, honey. He's a really good guy. Is he, Mom? Is he? He almost punched you in the face. Is he a good guy? Honey, you don't know. He's got so many pressures and so many troubles and so many things. Really, Mom? Really? She convinced him to come over and apologize to me a week later. He stood sheepishly at the back door. Glenn, I have no right to ask you this. And you are the man of the family. But I would like permission to come in. I would like permission to see your mother again. I'm a changed man. And I was dumb enough to believe him. The story ends with both my mother and this man dead. So I find this a little close to home. I would say that we should pray for her. Her life has been wrecked. But her life has been wrecked long before she met this guy. Because there's something and someone in her life, there is some hole in her life that makes her think that she deserves this, makes her think that it was a night that we both look back in horror. What did you do? What did you do to deserve getting punched in the face? Were you coming at him with a knife? I'm sorry. You don't punch a woman. Ever. Ever.